episode of Getting to Know Bend. I'm Annie Law, and today I'm here with Cliff Abrahams.
Hello.
Who owns Eight Hands Hospitality. So how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Good. And so you own, is it 4 food trucks total?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. So he owns the 3 food trucks we're at Crosscut inside. He owns Abe Capana's Pizza Place, Euro Power, which is Mediterranean, Gluma's Chicken and Waffles.
Yep, and Southern.
And then, Southern Food, the location here at Crosscut and Rivers Place, right?
Yes, that is correct. And I guess I kind of misspoke, more like Comfort, I guess. Comfort,
Okay.
driven from the southeast.
Perfect. Well, so tell me, how'd you get started?
Ooh. We got started, my wife and I, Sarah, lived in Austin, Texas for the last 11 years before we moved here. And I worked for an award-winning restaurant and hospitality company. We were very successful. Did it for almost 10 years, and it kind of was getting old, and I got put to cash call. And instead of putting money into something we didn't feel was going to really make us happy, we had always talked about moving to this part of the country. Sarah had lived here for about 6-7 years prior when she was in her 20s.
Okay.
And always wanted to come back here, and I always wanted to go back to Colorado, to Fort Collins, where I lived for 15 years.
Yeah.
But essentially, what happened was, Sarah was giving a big pitch. She wanted to come to Bend. She was wholehearted Bend.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about Bend, so
Well, it's very similar to Colorado.
it was. And in my mind, it's taken me this many years to kind of realize the nuances, because they are very similar. And my whole deal was I wasn't going to come here to take a job.
Yeah.
That if we were going to do it, that we were going to do our own business.
Okay.
And essentially put our fate into our own hands. And that's where 8 Hands comes from.
Okay.
Because it's my wife, me, and my 2 kids. And Ruby. So 8 months.
And so when did you open officially?
We started out in 2019.
Okay.
3 months. We took over a contract at Eagles Crest.
Oh, wow.
I basically never owned a food truck ever in my life. I've been in hospitality my entire life. And we decided to take a leap of faith, and we did some research, and Ben was thriving in this whole scene.
Yeah.
And we took a leap of faith, essentially, and I bought a food truck out of Texas. And we moved here prior to even sealing that deal.
Yeah.
And
wow.
so we moved here, drove across country with a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, dragging our cars in the back of 24-foot rider trucks and such. And then when we got here, I finally landed the deal on the truck, and I had to turn around, fly back to Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
And I drove that truck by myself 2,200 miles back over the pass here.
Oh my God.
And built it out.
So we are back. We're still at Crosscut, but we moved outside because it's starting to get pretty busy in there.
It's crazy.
I know. Who would have thought on a Wednesday? Still popping. So we'll move on to the next question then. What might people be surprised to know about your business?
The biggest thing that I see that folks are surprised about is that all of our trucks are stationary.
Oh, okay.
Like, our business model is to not go to events and stuff.
Yeah. You want to stay in one place.
We get reached out to quite a bit, like, we want to have you cater this thing, and then sometimes it's the nuance of the language, you don't think about it. You go, hey, we'll do it like this, and like, all right, cool, when can the card come? So we have to make sure to be very specific. So the vast majority of people are willing to spend a tremendous amount more on a catering just to have a physical truck there.
Yeah.
It's sort of interesting, but that was never my business model. It was we did events a little bit in the beginning, and my God, is that a lot of headache.
I can imagine. A lot of work, a lot of effort.
And this is a tremendous amount of work, but to me it's like I want to be set somewhere, develop business, develop regulars, and learn to do our craft better and better every day as the years go by, and have that spot.
And what better location than, right here, right outside Box Factory is.
Yeah, well, we invested 1, 2, 3 times in it. So
it's worth it.
I felt really, really special when I stood here with Bob Libby prior to this property being built out, and just being an old mill and the historic, the flag and all of it. I love driving to this location every time I come here.
Yeah, definitely. And so what about some challenges that you faced?
Oh goodness, I mean, the challenges, I guess I thought about that question a little bit. And I hate putting staffing as number one, because it's almost always the number one in hospitality.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd be a fool and I'd be dishonest. I mean, I think number one is staffing. I mean, if you had your exact pawns to play the exact chess game that you want to play, you're going to win every time.
Yeah.
But
how life works.
But we've been very, very fortunate compared to a lot of our peers. We've been able to keep open, and knock on wood. So I would say staffing is number one. Number two, and again, I hate the fact that's been going on with the pandemic and pandemic/supply chain because it's nasty, and folks don't realize, like, we used to be able to order from U.S. Foods and maybe shop for an hour a day at one store, in cash and carry, let's say, and now we shop an average, I'd say, of 4 hours a day just to keep up and chase our tails and have product. And then you get your order and you're like, the cups didn't come, or this is bad here, and it's not even available and you can't get it. So number one, staffing. Number two, supply chain / pandemic issues, and obviously those prices going up. And then number three, I would say just weather, because the fires were a huge deal last year. Like, we got through some crap, and then it's like, all right, cool. And we opened up the Euro Power, and it's like all of a sudden fires are here, and everyone's gonna close. These trucks are covered with soot.
Oh my god.
You know, literally covered in soot. We had to power wash all of our trucks. So. Yeah, there's no doubt, and I think that's in the food truck end of the hospitality game. I think that's always the real prominent thing. Normally, I think that would be number one, right? Like the weather. How do you perform? Things break, you don't think about it. We froze down probably 30 times our first winter at Pluma's at Rivers Place. It took us so long to figure out exactly how to winterize and to not leak, and where it's warm in the car and where it isn't.
Exactly, it's a whole other ball game compared to just a restaurant. So.
It's to go work an actual kitchen right now and have like a walk-in would literally feel like you're on a luxury cruise.
Right, I bet. So I know you've been in Bend for a while now. What do you like to do in your free time?
Free time, I try to spend as much time with my wife and 2 kids. We try to go hike around. Metolius is one of our favorite spots. Anything to do with travel. We love traveling. We hit up Seattle and Portland and Boise this year, and put a pretty good dent into those cities. My kids absolutely love it. Being tourists and kind of getting out of this environment to get inspired. I play guitar and I play piano.
Awesome.
And my wife loves to bake, and we both love to cook, so she tends to be on the sweet end and I tend to be on the savory. We always have a garden in the yard every season.
Awesome. That's a great balance. And so finally, favorite places around town, whether it's restaurants or other businesses?
Oh, it's a great question. Oh goodness, we just went to Zydeco recently, really had a great experience there. We love Blacksmith. I mean, the usual suspects are really, really good. It's hard to say Los Taros, not mention them, and not mention Ariana. All those are wonderful. Our fellow food truckers, Jason Hoagie's next door to us, Pluma's in there, and Nick's Trucks, Nick's Snacks, and Sopa, they're all fantastic. We love supporting those guys. I love Ian's truck, Ina, over at Bevel, and I really like John Morris's trucks, Southern Accent strut over at Bevel, and at, I don't know if I'm putting it the right way, but over at Silver Moon. I'm trying to think of there's some other ones. I'm trying to think what else we really like, where we like to eat.
So many great places around town.
It is. It's nuts.
Hard to choose.
It is. There's a lot of really good spots, and the truth of the matter is we don't get to eat out nearly as much as we would like to, and we don't get to cook nearly as much as we like to. We have 2 young kids in school, and at the end of the day, like, we intend to bring home food from our trucks. And we have really put definitely we're a huge contributor to Bend Takeout this year. It's just too convenient, and also we feel like we've done really, really well. We've been really, really blessed, and so we like to try to give it back as much as we can to the guys and the folks that are operating locally.
Well, and we know they need it, so that's awesome. All right, Cliff, well, thank you so much for joining me today and telling me about how you got started and whatnot. I'm sure you have Facebook and an Instagram.
Yeah, we have all those things. 8handshospitality.com is our main webpage, and we have Facebook pages for both Pluma's and Abe Campana's and Euro Power. I wish I knew the exact tags. That's why I pay my social media guy. You know, if you Google us, we pop up pretty readily, and yeah, it was awesome. Thank you so much for considering our small business and giving us the opportunity to be on your show.
I've had Euro Power before, and it's awesome. It's my favorite Euro in Bend. So.
Well, that's high praise, because honestly, that's the reason why that truck got helped. That's why we haven't even reached the full volition of that one, because it was always pushed to the back burner because all the other Greek stuff that came.
Exactly.
So that's really nice hearing that.
Of course, and I mean it.
It's sort of like the stepkid, you know what I mean?
Well, you're doing great. So
awesome.
Make sure to like and subscribe to all his Instagram, social media, and follow parkbench.com/Bend for all the latest news and deals around town. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.